Right, hello. Can everybody hear me okay? How you all doing? Right, welcome back. I'm Dread Mechanic, and this is the first live stream I've done in quite a while. Because of varying circumstances, but now I'm back, and hopefully my internet is doing alright. Everything seems to be looking fine. Right, so, I want to do this live stream, because I've been super busy with real world stuff lately, and I haven't had a chance to record any series stuff or any little videos or anything really. I've been super busy, but yeah, I'm back now, so I will be back to normal for a couple of weeks maybe. But I've also just passed my forklift instructor's qualification, so I'm potentially looking at a new job in the next month or so. So there might have to be some shake up to my usual schedule. Things might go down to an every 2 weeks kind of vibe, but I'm hoping that I can more or less have episodes of stuff out every other weekend and do live streaming every other weekend kind of thing. And lots that the chat is saying you can hear me. Thank God for that, because this microphone has caused me all kinds of problems in the past, but cool. People can hear me. What are people saying? Lots of nice things. Technical stuff. Yes, I do enjoy technical stuff. What's that? Jeremy, you don't even have the game because you don't have the computer. Oh well, at least you're here to enjoy it anyway. But yeah, right, glad you can all hear me. Glad you can all see me. So, in this stream, I want to do some random stuff for a while. But ultimately, I want to build another robot. Oh my god, thank you Kitsy Web, my very first ever super chat. $20. Thank you very much, dude. That is very much appreciated. Okay then, wow. Cheers man, thank you. That's kind of thrown me off guard now. So, what I was saying is I want to build another Metal Gear unit, or at least make a start on another Metal Gear unit, similar to this one, which is my Metal Gear Rex I've been working on for a while. He makes noises when he opens his mouth. He's got a little pilot seat with a bunch of indicator lighting on the inside, and all of his, well, most of his programming and control stuff is in there. A lot of it is also stored in the pod at the back. Yeah, we can jump into the cockpit seat, and it automatically closes up. What's that, Jeremy? Movie videos, plus I don't do silly voices. I am a nonsense-free kind of guy, Jeremy. I don't do silly voices or reaction videos or any dramatic kind of stuff. I just like to stick to science and engineering. My worst offence is probably I've got quite a deep monotone voice sometimes, so it might get a little bit boring, but it's better than high-pitched squeaky things, in my opinion. But yeah, this is the inside of Metal Gear Rex's cockpit right now, and we've got a bunch of various controls. We can turn everything off and power the whole thing down. We can turn the control systems back on. We can open the mouth if we need a bit of fresh air or want to see what we're doing. And when we can turn the control systems on, that activates all of the walk controls. We've got a fairly decent third-person view because we're sat in the head. And then it's got all of my usual vanilla walk controls, like left and right and forward and backward. And he's got a few other things in him to prevent him tipping over and misbehaving. And he's also got an experimental balancing system at the moment that's still having a few teething problems, but kind of works. It honestly works better for AI controls than it does for the manual controls. I'm trying to work around. What's that? Light shiner? Since you make technical mechs, have you thought making a battleship decked out with a lot of different... I have done. I've experimented with lots of like big battle mechs and ships and stuff like that. The biggest bottleneck I have at the moment is just my computer. It's not like absolute top of the range, but it's not bottom of the range either. It can handle me doing like quite a bit of complex stuff, but when I start doing massive large grid things with all kinds of subgrids, the sim speed starts chugging a bit and it gets a bit frustrating. It's why I ended up kind of abandoning the mobile Citadel streams for a bit, because that thing is so big and complex, the sim speed drops to like half when I jump into that game now. It's just so big. But if you've got the computer to do it, it's entirely achievable and entirely reasonable to do. But yeah, what else was I going to show off before I start messing around with building? He's also got some AI controls. So he's got a guard mode, and as you can see at the side of the screen, he's got a broadcast controller that lets me know what he's doing. And it also activates the head turret controllers so that he can look around and follow targets and things. And you know, he's actually pretty good at walking around and following me now. Just need to make a few more tweaks to the old, to the new balancing control idea I've been working on. But he's not bad. And then we can whip back over here. Turn that one off. And he's also got a patrol mode setting, which is just another task block set to autopilot rather than follow player. And then he'll just go off on a little routine, walking around and patrolling and stuff. And then we can turn that on and off just as easily. Pretty simple. But yeah, so what I actually want to get done in this stream is I was having a look through a variety of the different Metal Gears that appear throughout the series, and I thought the easiest one, considering I've got 90% of that figured out, would probably be to do Metal Gear Zeke, because that one is meant to be fully AI controlled rather than piloted by a human, so I thought I'd have a crack at trying to build that and make it fully AI, not even build a cockpit on it. I mean, probably have to build a cockpit on it temporarily to set things up, but ultimately I would like to try and build that, or something closely resembling it, that can operate entirely by itself. So what I think I'll do to start off with is get Rex and bring him over here, so he'll be a bit of an easier point of reference to work with. Why is his legs misbehaving like that? Have I screwed up something with his balance control, or haven't been looking? Nope. I think it's just the game deciding to be a little bit weird, probably because I'm live streaming. If I turn them off so they're not doing anything. No, still being a little bit arsey. Well, doesn't matter. Right, we'll leave him there. Kitsu M. Yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, well, I thought Zeke would be a good one because the overall shape's pretty similar. The mechanics involved aren't too different. I had a look at some of the others, and there's all kinds of bipeds and quadrupeds and things with very strange proportions. Zeke's basically just a stripped down version of a Rex at the end of the day, at least in terms of design. What's that, Jeremy? You would like to see someone make Battleship Yamato? There's actually quite a few people that have made Battleship Yamato, as far as I'm aware. I've seen it posted a few times on the Space Engineers socials and on Steam. Have a look for it on Steam or Mod.io. I'm sure there's at least like a few on both platforms. It is quite a popular ship. Everything's all still in the green. Fine. Right, so good starting point for most mechs is the main body. So having a look at Zeke's proportions, he's a little bit slimmer than Rex, but we have to work with the blocks we've got. So what's Rex looking like? He is... where are we? That one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 9 blocks across from rotor to rotor. Cool. Right, well, we'll go with that for now as a basic starting point. Now, one in the middle. With all the mirror modes, I make this easier. And for either side is 9. Fantastic. Right, so with that kind of width, take those pictures down so everyone can see what I'm doing. Yeah, right. Okay. So the 9th block is going to be where we attach the rotors to. So if we make a mounting point like that for the 3x3 rotors, that way, let's have them both pointing up, makes life a little easier. Right, yeah, and then look at that gap there. Probably squeeze all that armor plating he's got around his legs in that gap. What are you set to? Dum, 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 dum. In fact, you know what, we'll just copy the whole thing. Oop. Always forget. Power source. Can't do anything with mechanical blocks without power. There we go. Have I got... No, I haven't got the uranium yet. We can do... Punch that in there. Right, cool. Power. Yeah, so we go with that kind of angle for that. Seems to work fairly well for this configuration. It should hopefully be a good start for another mech that is basically the same thing. Whenever you're ready. There we go. Right, okay, so that can be the basic idea of the hips. It's the wrong block. And that is going to be 7 across the main body. So, I've got... the main body is mostly black, with white details. Big chunky white blocky bits at the back. The hips are roughly in the middle. Okay, let's try. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Another 6 at the back. What distance did we have from there to there? His head. Six blocks is about the centre of where the neck is going to start on that one from... Oop, button, that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so yeah. Three, 4, 5, 6, that was going to be the centre. Yeah, okay. I reckon that's probably going to work for now. So then the next angle was something like that, to be honest. It might go up 2 or 3 blocks, but it's not going to go much higher than that. And then he's got a little gun turret thing in here. And I've got 5 blocks left to squeeze a 3x3 rotor or something in there. That should be fine. Right, stick that across there, make that a bit more secure. And then it looks like we might have at least 1 block doing that. Oh, but I've built this all way too high up. Idiot. Right, let's have another little look. Yeah, okay, I think I've got the right angle. I've just built it up too high to start with. It's hard to tell from some of these reference pictures exactly where I should be working from. One above, one below, maybe. Bring that out from there. Like that. A lot longer. Chop that off. Oop. Yeah, that looks far more reasonable. So we have that come 6 blocks back from there. Then have that and that. Yeah, that looks alright actually. We just need to go a little bit higher up from there. So we switch to those ones. Maybe? Oh no, actually, that looks like it might be something more like that. Yeah, that'll do for now, I think. Then we can have, yeah, a clear gap above there. Say, make a 5 block lip above there for now. And then we've got the lighter section of the armour. That. Meanwhile, I flick through some of these other reference pictures. Oh, hello guys. How you doing? Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. 88B23 and Damon, how are you doing? Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, I've missed doing the live streaming myself. I've just had all kinds of financial and internet related problems over the last few months, but I seem to be back in working order. My internet seems to be working pretty well, and yeah, I thought I'd come back and do this for a few hours. I'm not sure how long I do. I'm planning to do about 4 hours, see how long I get in that. Probably have a little break at some point, probably around the 2-hour mark. But yeah, welcome back to the streaming, man. So, these reference pictures. Ah, there's a good one. Right. Well, that. Ah, JB, right. I see. Right, okay. Right, so. Start the white bits of the armour about there. Bring that out 3 blocks. No, that's not going to be enough room. I need to do that a little bit higher because the hip of this thing is going to be wider than the head of that rotor. Ooh, hello, belt-fed justice. What's that? Watching me wants to make you build a set of solid axles for your rover. Rotors attached to wheels, 2 hinges. Use the steering wheels and knuckles and some sort of suspension that allows articulation. This is one of the reasons I use ion thrusters a lot for vanilla controls, because you can do all that kind of crazy stuff with wheel suspensions, but use thrusters to trigger it. But a lot of the time the problem is if you use atmospheric thrusters, the actual force generated by them will throw your grid around in unwanted ways. Whereas, pretty much most of the time, ion thrusters will function in atmosphere but so low that they can't really thrust at all, but event controllers should usually pick them up. So I tend to do that for like custom wheel suspensions when I want to make them turn or drive forward and backward. Yeah, just thrusters tied to event controllers that trigger wheel actions. What was that, Damon? You're going to be really busy with work and making 2007 Megatron, a video game called Mass Builder. Haven't heard of that one. Yeah, you can get brain rot sometimes doing a big project, not quite knowing where you're supposed to go with it, or what you're supposed to do with it. You get a bit brain rotty. Where was that other picture I was working from? There it is. So, we have that idea. Let's go. Oop, wrong button. Let's go another block higher here. And then that was going to be pretty much the same width as that. Bring that out 3 blocks. That'll give us a bit more space. We could even make the bottom of that half blocks, maybe. Yeah, I reckon that'll be a better starting point for that. So then that is going to come back to... You know what, let's call it 5 rather than 3. That'll come back to about there, and then it's going to angle back down again. Something like that. Maybe another block thicker. Oh yeah, it will actually have to be another block thicker at the top. Absolutely. So if we do that, and that, and that, then take them back out. Do it like that. Yeah, that looks a bit better. And that's going to come way back off the back of the body. And these things actually overhang a little bit and come down to about here from the look of it. Go with that for now. Maybe a little bit further. Because we actually want it to... Damn. We actually want it to have quite a blocky end like that, but that's not going to work. I really wish we had quarter triangles. That'd solve the problem. Is they're going to be... Yeah, the wrong position, the wrong angle. What if we use sloped blocks instead? Have to be that, won't it? Yeah, that'll do. That's fine. Crisis averted. Right, so that's the basic idea for the hip setup. So, this leg design going to be something similar to this, which is 5 blocks wide with a mounting point to give it a little bit of extra space. Cool. Right, let's do one of them then. I'll go back to the grey colour for now. Where is it? That one. Because that's probably going to end up actually needing to be a bit wider anyway, so yeah, that'll be fine. And then the leg itself has a layer of white armour along the outside. Where am I? How long was this one from point to point? From the centre of that to the centre of that is 12 blocks. It's 5 blocks deep. That hinge is mounted 1, 2, 3 or 4 blocks lower down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Right then, so we had 12 from point to point, so 11 more. Something like that. And then what was it? 3 blocks down from the top. Which would just be the centre anyway. Yeah, it would just be the centre block anyway. Okay. Cool, so if we have that like that, we could then have a hinge like that. Oh, hey, so jolly. Cheers, man. It's the first live stream I've done in quite a while, for various reasons, but yeah. Cheers to have you here, man. Nice to see one of the channel members we get to speak to in real time. Okay then. Right, so that's going to be that. Now what about the leg portions? What's that like? Top and bottom halves look about the same length, but rather than have an undulligrade or chicken walker style like Rex, I want to do digitigrade, or the double knee variety. A lot of people are more familiar with it as. So from the end of that hinge It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that's not actually a real joint. We'll go with 5 for now as a working idea. So 4, 5. And then we will bung another hinge on the end of that. The opposite way around, so that when we have to control them, because they're both technically facing the same direction, we can just apply the same settings to them. Whereas if I flip that one round so the peg was facing the other way, you'd have to use opposite controls when we program them to. That's why it's always a good idea to make note where that little marker is on hinges and where your 0 and this little stripe is on your rotors, because they indicate what direction the hinge is facing and what your 0 point is on your rotor head. So that looks... yeah, that looks alright for now. I'll go with that. If it's a bit short or a bit long, we can work on it a little bit more. That can be the basis for that. And then the bottom of this leg. Right, it's going to have to be pretty similar to the top half. So it will end up being 3 across like that, probably. I need to leave a little bit of a gap for the hinge. Hinges don't like having blocks immediately at their sides. It'll get a bit moody. What do we do on Rex? Oh yeah, I used the half block to give it that clearance, didn't I? Yeah, we'll do that again. So that can be that wide, but the outer 2 on this are going to want to be white with some half blocks to give that a bit of clearance at the side. And then that want to be about the same. What did we say? About 12 blocks. Center, so something like that. Doesn't look too ridiculous right now. Okay, that's a good starting point for working out the dimensions. We may have to chop and change things as we go, but the proportions look fairly reasonable for now. Right, so we need to actually shape these things. A little bit, give me a second, let's have a little zoom in. Some leg shapes. What we got to work with. Oh, what's that? BB, oh, 8823. Can't wait till it's fleshed out more. Oh, 2 is fleshed out more. Yes, I am very much waiting for Space Engineer 2 to get fleshed out more. That's literally the only reason I haven't jumped into it and started making content for SE2 yet, is because there's nothing to do mech-wise, really, in its current state. And there's no point me doing another how to build a mining ship in SE2 video, because there's about 1,000 of them out there right now. So yeah, I'm waiting for the mechanical blocks and the logic block to turn up, and then I will be all over Space Engineers 2 and working out how to do mech stuff in it. What's that so jolly? You've played this game for over 10 years but never built mechs. Delivery drones, yes. Auto mining drones, yes. Oh, no worries, man. I'm glad I could broaden your horizons a little bit. Oh, what's that? It's interesting when the channels you watch interact. Me and Engineered Coffee have chatted quite a few times. He actually started watching my old live streams before I was even really aware of who he was. And he was my very first channel member as well. So yeah, we've chatted quite a bit, like in private and publicly. He's a nice bloke. Yeah, I try to foster a sort of community kind of vibe. I'm happy to share any of my information freely with other people. That's why I do streams like this and tutorial videos and things. And I get the feeling that Engineered Coffee has a much the same kind of attitude towards it as well. Just helping people do new, weird, interesting things. Right, so let's have a think about making these legs a little bit better. So we want to have the back of these things, they want to be round-ish. So if we do some slope blocks and some of the little wedge bits in, you can get a fairly round kind of shape out of that I'm kind of happy with. Yeah, and that should be able to freely move in that space, even if I extend it out a bit. Cool, I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with where I've put that hinge though, so I'm going to have to move that. Because that needs to be 2 blocks over. Done. Right. I'll chop that off, sort that out in a second. So this is going to be the outer edge, which is 5 blocks across from there. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 more blocks across from there. Big long line down there. 1, 2, 3, let's do that there. Wow. What's that so jolly? Do you like his design style-wise and colour scheme? My version of the train monorail works better than his. So I think, yeah, to be honest, me and Engineered Coffee have been, like, quite publicly nicking ideas from each other for a few months now. I've watched his videos and gone, that's a really cool idea, and he's watched some of mine and thought the same thing, and we have even messaged each other behind the scenes to say, how do you do this, or how did you figure that out? So yeah, I'm quite happy to see people nick my ideas and use them, and I hope they're happy to do the same as well, because when I see a cool idea I immediately want to try it out for myself and see if I can do it a different way, or a more efficient way, or a more complicated way sometimes. So, if we flesh the back of this out then, that's pretty much going to be the shape of the back end of this thing. There is it. Keep going past it. There it is. Ah, bloody contextual buttons. There we go. Oh, let's take that down. Right, yeah, so... that looks about right to me for now. And then the rest of that leg shape. And is mostly going to be that. Ooh. You know what? Now is probably the time to throw a bit of mirror mode onto here. It's going to be the same down either side. So that's going to be like that. That's going to be like that. And then I'm going to glue that or rebuild it back on in there. Let's have a look what we did on Rex. Well, that knee joint. It's hard to see. I might do that. Oop, there we go. Yeah. Dun. That is 1, 2 deep. That's the same, isn't it? Yeah. That's 5 blocks down. 1 block up. Oh, so yeah, it's only 1 block from the bottom. Okay. So that hinge would be mounted. Oop. There, as that was 12 blocks from the centre of there. Right. Cool. Okay, we'll just rebuild that because it's easier than trying to paste a subgrid back in, which is not an enjoyable experience. Right, so that can go there then. Let's quickly put a little bit more support in there for a second. A little bit more there. So you need to take out some of these. Put that back on. There we go. So we've got a little bit of breathing room for that that hinge. And then around the back of it, do something like that. And then, to be honest, we might change a substantial chunk of that later, but for now that'll be okay. What's that so jolly? That's the great thing we as engineers call the opposite of that. Oh, look, I need to get my glasses. Oh yeah. Free sharing of information. Definitely, man. I'm all about that. But I've got a cool idea. I'm usually pretty excited to show it off to other people and then go really in depth into how it works, because I'm a bit of a nerd like that. So if we have that come down about there, 1, 2. And that come down 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Won't be quite far enough, I don't think. Yeah, because I need the side of this to come down a little bit further. Like so. Then we can have triangle block. Like that. There maybe, actually a little bit further back. Yeah, so we'd have that like so. Fill that in, we can take that out, we'll put that back in as extra support. That can come down there. Yeah, I reckon that's going to need to come down one more. And that can be something like that. Perhaps. Or is that a bit too far? You know what, I might even start that a little bit later. Ooh. Like that. I think that is just a bit too much. Yeah, that's a bit too much. That doesn't seem quite enough. That's the problem with space engineers, or just block building games in general, block limitations. You have to make compromises somewhere, so yeah, I think we'll just go with that for now. So we want to have, yeah, we definitely want a bit more clearance for that bit. Not that one. Well, that one, where is it? That's the one. So we have something like that. Where is it? There we go. Have something like that, and then we've got a bit of breathing room for that hinge. So it's not going to need to extend anywhere near out that far. It's usually going to be tucked back here somewhere. Yeah, that'll do. Right, yeah, because then pretty much the whole front of this section is all mostly set a lower level, set a level lower, and filled in with black bits. So, and that bit is kind of like that. Where is a picture that is not from the front? There we go, much better. Yeah, so it's something like that. More or less. All the way down. And like that, and then we get near the bottom here. And then there's a little bit of armour plating across the front of there that we can work out later. Right. Okay, that's a good start. And then there is a bit of a round bit on the side here. which I will do later because I'm going to build this leg and I'm going to copy and paste the whole thing onto the side, so I will do that in a bit. Actually, what I will do for now is place the mounting point that I'm going to use to paste it on later. It's actually a pretty good marker for what I need to do there anyway. So what did we think of that? 5. 5, 5, 5. Let's go with that skin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for now, we'll just go with something pretty straightforward. Because then we can tack one of them on the end like so, and then this can tuck up into that gap. Yeah, we're going to need to change those bits to... Thought we would. Right, so we take that out all the way up to there. What are we looking at? We're looking at that. Mirror mode back on, please. We do that up to there. Tuck that all the way in. All the way down there. That fits nicely, that's fine. Actually, probably never going to need to tuck it up that high either, so that's fine for now. What do we want to do here then? So... make that like that. We can turn that into... Where round is it? That. Yeah, that looks fine. There we go, we can do that there. And we can just about squeeze that in. Up there. Cool. Right, so we don't need to go that way. Let's go with an upper limit 45 degrees for now. I'm not going to need to really extend that far out when it's walking, I don't think. That to 0. So, oh, hello, so jolly. Sorry, I didn't see the messages there. Oh, you worked at Lockheed Skunk Works. Nice, man. Very cool. You want some people accepting solutions that had already been figured out, then we could focus on the truly inspirational designs. Oh yeah, if someone's already figured it out and worked out something basic that's just another hurdle in your process, then go for it, yeah. And then you can get the basic ideas out of the way, and then you can work on the things that you actually want to work on. That's what I've always said to people if they want to get into mech building and use some of my blueprints as a framework, go for it. Like, take them, reverse engineer them, figure out how they work, and do your own thing with them. Absolutely. So we'll make that 25 instead. Maybe 15. Yeah. Let me copy all of that. Paste it onto there. And then the rest of that leg will be something like that. Straight down from there. Okay. That's looking good so far. That was the wrong button. So what were we going to do with that one? It was... Again, we were going to see what 12 across looked like, weren't we? So 12 from the center to the end. What's that picture looking like? Yeah, and then we were going to do a layer of the white armor on the outside, and then some half blocks. That was it. So something like, oh, actually, yeah, we're still going to have to do that anyway. Might just, yeah, we'll just do the armor. I'm not going to be able to squeeze that weird shape in. Right, yeah, okay. So something like that. Load of that down the side. And then we could... do something like that. And then we could do... Actually, let's do it with the pointy blocks. And do that like that. That like that. And that should give it the breathing room it needs. The back. Hang on. It's the back of that. Ah, the back of that leg doesn't look like that though, does it? Does it look like it's got armor plating? Now, it all depends on which reference picture you're looking at, but one of them's got some armor plating here. And then the back of it comes down in a bit of triangular shape. What do you do about that? Bum bum bum. I put that there. I can do that. Let's do 1, 2. That was 5D, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 3. 4. 5. Shapes are about the same size. So, maybe another one like that. And then the back of that can be like that, so that needs to then be another, what, lower? Because that can then be like that. So the shin section is actually a little bit skinnier than the thigh. We can do that, and then it looks like it comes back in again like so. Maybe there. No, that's not off. Call it that. And then 2, 3, 4. Yeah, call that. That can be that. Wrong thing. Wrong thing again. That could potentially be something like that. And what have we got for the end of this foot? That may have to actually be a steeper angle. Like that. And that, and then that. That doesn't look too far off, actually. Only difference is we need to have pale yellow bits at the front. Oh, that's the wrong way. We'll reset that to default. And Right, yeah, let's make that a 50. That 90. And that's slightly over, slightly less than halfway. All of this end of the foot is a yellow colour, so we'll go with that. Sure, there was some. Oh yeah, the other yellow plating on the head. We're nowhere near that stage yet. So some of these pictures have got a little bit of it in a few other places. Most of them is just the feet and the head, so we'll go with just the feet and the head. In fact, I might even bring that in a little bit further. Cool, right, so let's have a think. That's going to be... Let's put that back a bit. Give it a little bit more space. Maybe. Hang on. Gives myself a good view of the front. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, actually, we do want that to come a bit further forward. Because there's a bunch of stuff that kind of protrudes out of that. It's going to involve a little bit of greebling and playing with shapes, but we'll do that later. So for now, we'll just do something like that for the moment. Then come back and fill that in later. Because I actually do need to figure out where the hinge is going to go in this gap. It's supposed to go around this bit here. What do I do on this foot over here? And it's sticking off the end of the foot. Might do it slightly differently with this one, so we have that like that, and throw another hinge. On the end, we'll have to tuck them in. Yeah, because that's potentially out to swing. Quite a way back. But it's still going to need clearance. You know what, I'll go with that for now. That looks alright. Also means I can do that and make that bit look nice. If I... What am I going to do? Stick some of that there. That was the inside of that. That doesn't look too bad. And the back end of that leg is, yeah, mostly just shapes that follow the inside of that. What can we do there? We can do that and that for now. You have that there. That's the wrong one. You can have that there. Have some more half slopes and some more half blocks to fill that in. And then the back end of this be some stuff like that. We'll just do that for now. And then there's a little bit of a thing at the back of that. Put that for now. Oop, wrong button. We can fiddle with those details till the end of time. I want to get something up and running soon. Right, feet. Let's do another just basic, reasonable looking mounting point that kind of blends in with the shape of the rotor head, hinge head. And the feet on these are pretty much just gigantic flat plates, so for now I'm just going to do some big flat plates like so, and then we can figure out a decent, better idea. So jolly. Almost. Metal Gear Zeke. The streamlined AI controlled version of it from Metal Gear Peace Walker, I think it was. But it's basically like, it's more or less the same design in a lot of aspects. Just the legs are slightly different, but the overall shape is pretty much the same. He's got a central body, he's got a big flappy head, he's got a big, well, it's meant to be a radar pod, but you can't really make a radar thing in this that does much, so I made it a missile launcher. Right, are we back? Chat's disconnected, unable to chat. Is anyone still... Let's see, I've still got viewers. If anyone is still watching, please send us a message and let us know. My Wi-Fi card decided to turn itself off in the middle of the stream for some reason. Right, okay. I'm still streaming. Give me 1 second. Ah, sound. Okay, cool. As long as people are there. My chat's not resetting on my OBS, which is annoying. Okay. I can't see anybody's messages. Give me a second to try and get my chat window back properly. You did send messages, but I've not seen any of yours. Oh, for God's sake. Refresh chat. There we go. Right. Yeah, we might have lost a few people, but a few people have come back. Sorry about that, my Wi-Fi card just decided to just magically randomly turn itself off for some reason in the middle of the stream, and took a few seconds to reset. I'm glad it didn't kill the stream though, because that's happened to me before. I think I need to get a hardline connection sorted out. Anyway, right, crisis averted, back to what we were doing. As long as you can all see and hear me, everything is fine. So, oh, hey Jeremy, glad everyone is still there and glad you can all still hear and see me. Right, cool, I think everything's fine again. Right, so that is pretty much going to be the basic idea for one of these legs. at least for the moment. The next step is to take the whole thing. Oh, actually, that's a point. Before I next step anything, let's throw share inertia tensor on those two, because that's very important. Real life clang, yeah. My computer decided to do stupid things when it is least appropriate. But isn't that always the way with computers? Right, so now we've got that leg sorted out. Should have set the limits on that, I probably would have stood up. I can now stop moving. Right, there we go. I can now take that and hopefully not be able to place it on there, because that is a block too low at the moment. There we go. Right, so that should be cool. There we go. Right. Oh, hang on. Not like that. Oh yeah, feet angles. Right, now's the tricky bit. Now we have to work out what its optimum kind of stride is between the legs' forward positions and rear positions. Because this one gave me all manner of grief for a long time, trying to figure out how to get the legs to move in the right way so that it doesn't tip over or tip forwards. Not quite sure why it's being so moody today, but yeah, we need to work out leg angles, because that is pretty much a good position for a vertical standing position. But what we need to do is work out where it's going to be, and it's all the way forward. What did we do with you? Oh yeah, we had 45 and we had 100, didn't we, at the back? Which is what it's currently set to, so pitch that all the way back. That's a little bit too much. This leg design. Oh, right, so yeah, that's a little bit too far back, potentially. So yeah, this is the difference between different kinds of leg styles. They can have drastically different kinds of settings. So let's have a better look at the leg positions on this thing. Realistically, that actually wants to be considerably stronger for a start. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 at least. We might actually make that minus 20. That and that, and then we'll call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They need to be way stronger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 million. We'll copy all of that. That's much more stable. We'll do that as 10 million as well. Yeah, so that... Oop, you know what, let's get rid of that, we don't need that. Let's make some kind of indicator down here where floor level is. Right, so you don't need to go anywhere near that far back, this design. Yeah. Climb. Let's take 20 degrees out of it. That's much nicer. What am I doing? That. Yeah, that is much nicer distance. One of the key things I've noticed about getting leg designs to walk is finding the right spread. And usually it's a square along the front edge of the top of the feet and the back edge and between the hips, so if you can kind of make a decent enough square shape with your footprint and your stride, they usually have a better chance of standing up unassisted. Whereas if they step too far and their sort of footprint is a big rectangle, they'll fall over sideways. And likewise, if they don't step far enough and their footprint is that kind of rectangle, they'll be a bit more tippy back and forth. So that doesn't look too bad. I think that back leg might actually need to go back a few degrees. Oh, hello, Chandra. What's that? Chandran... I'm terrible with names and I haven't got my glasses on. Hey dude, don't want to be insulting. You just came online, but here's some advice. Use wheel suspensions attached to rotors for the feet. Yes, it certainly does, mate. I use suspensions for mech feet quite often. They have their pros and their cons though, because of the way wheel friction sort of works in this game. Depending on the setup, they can be quite snaggy and grippy with the floor, and cause a few issues. And also the actual collisions of the wheels are either tube-shaped or spherical, I can't remember which. Either way, they have a round edge to them, so in certain positions they don't get as much purchase on the floor, and they kind of roll around a bit before your mech starts walking forwards. So I do use suspension for feet occasionally. Depends on the setup. I recently made a mod that adds rotor heads to suspension to suspension blocks, so that you can basically get the same benefits just without the friction problems, which is what Rex is using. But it has the downside of it doesn't have the friction settings, so this version of Rex struggles with hills. So I might try and get actual wheel suspensions working on this one. But that looks alright for now. So that's going to be... that's going to be minus 65 for its lowest limit. I'll call that... what's that going to be? Minus 25? Yeah, minus 25. For its upper limit. Yeah, we can actually bring that leg in a little bit more. Because that is pretty much slightly below level with that. Whereas at the back, it is a good half a block off. Let's bring that in. A few more degrees. What was that like when it was on 80? And then if we do that, that is now just slightly less than half a block. And that is... much closer to half a block. Damn, you're gonna make me put decimal points in there. Right, so it's somewhere between 85 and 80, so we'll call it 82 and a half. And we'll call you 62 and a half. And that's bang on. And that one's slightly out. Let's call you 81. And 61. Keep splitting the difference till we find a nice compromise. Behave yourself. There you go, that's slightly less than... that's slightly less than, that's close enough for me for now. Cool, okay. So what did we have then? We had minus 61 at the back, minus 21 at the front, so minus 61 and minus 25. We are also probably going to need to do that. And I'll start at 10 million, but the feet will probably end up having to be more, so they've got a lot of weight to bear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, need 7 zeros. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Let's just copy and paste all of that. Stick it on there. Cool. Right, what did we do with these ones? They were a copy and paste job. It's the hips that I need to sort out. Minus 2045, 045, 045. Minus 2045, yeah, that's fine. It was the back end of this. 81. That wants to be minus 81. Cool. Okay, that is a fairly good starting point. Let's see if that can stand up unassisted and with no gyroscopes. Because if it can stand up with absolutely nothing, there's a decent chance. Oop, there it goes. Yeah, wrong button. Behave yourself. There you go. Right. Yeah, it's alright. Okay, that's a good starting point. That's been an hour and 40 minutes. So, I'm going to take a quick little bathroom break. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Not even that, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. So, don't go anywhere. I'll be back very soon, and we will work on programming these legs. That's the wrong button. See you soon. Right, I am back again. Didn't take half as long as I thought it might do. Right, so that is a good starting point, I think. So we'll get rid of that. And then we can think about the next bit. Right, what do I need to do here then? First of all, I need to put those blocks back in. Then I need to extend that out at least a little bit more. Probably another block from the look of it. I'll have a few more of them either side. And we need a load of triangles. And then some more under there. Right, cool. Right, yes, that's looking a bit better. Right, so I need to figure out where I am going to put a load of the internal stuff. Also, where I'm going to mount this head, like the head. The head is mounted around here. It's got a big circular bit that it's attached to. What would be the best way of doing that? It comes up a bit. I might actually even have to make this bit taller, perhaps. Yeah, look at the scale of it. It might have to be something more like that, because then we've got a disc section that comes out here that's going to be the basis of the neck. So, what's this space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make it an overhang. What's this space? 5, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Needs to be a circle that is 1 block wider than that, at least. I have 3 there, 3 there, 3 there. Then we can have one of them, and one of them. Trying to make circles in a game full of blocks is always tricky. What if we use... not there. What if we do that? Which is the better looking circle. I think I'll go with that. But I actually want to set it a block further back, I think. Maybe. Actually, no, we'll go with that. Because then we can fill... We can fill that little gap in there. Yeah, okay. Actually, I quite like that. I think that'll do. So we'll do that, that, and that. That and that for now, and then there'll be something like that. And that'll be the next section leading up to the back of the thing. Because Bob in the centre of this, we need to cut out at least a 3x3 space to get a connector or a hinge. A connector for a hinge or a rotor. In fact, actually, I think I might set it a block further in. Because this thing's got guns mounted in its head, and I need to be able to get ammunition up there. So yeah, we could do something like that potentially. And then we could... which way around is it? Yeah. Stick a rotor there. That'll form the basis of the head. We can build the head off that, because I don't really need... it's quite a compact design. I don't need the head to pitch back and forth. Or the neck, rather. It just needs to be able to swing side to side. So yeah, I think we'll go with that. And then we can smooth off some of the edges. This gap. Contextual buttons. Need to change that setting. We can do all that, we can do that, we can do that. There you go, looks a little bit nicer. Right, so that can be the basis of the neck area. Cool. Right then, in fact, we do need to extend this a little bit more then. Let's chop some more of these out. And add another layer of blocks. That'll do. Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, well this is the problem I can resolve from before, isn't it? Now I can just do this the way I was originally intending. I think. That there, that there, that there, that there, like that. Sweet. Let's extend it another block. It's starting to look a little bit out of proportion now that I've made it a bit thicker. Yeah, there we go. Right, cool. Okay. Right, so we've got a basic idea of where the head is going to go. Now he's got a big pod at the back, like Rex. Oh, hey, Chad P. An engineer is never late, he arrives precisely when he configured it to be correct. Certainly did. You're never late, mate. Welcome to the party. Right. So, let's have a look at some of them references. Right, so his pod isn't mounted on a big stalk like Rex's is. It's basically resting on the top of these two white sections. And it looks to be slightly thicker than the white sections, which are 3 high. So we'll call it 4 or 5. Let's see how far that gets us. Now, where does it connect to the top? There we go. That's a much better picture. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Looking like that section actually comes out much further back. Let's put that out. There we go. Yeah. Clang, clang. Pretty sure I've got damage turned off for now. One, two, three. I count for 7. So I actually want it to come back a bit further. Yeah, so we'll call it that, maybe. Where is it? Oh god, there's a connection point. It's that bit. There we go. How far back do I want that? Because I need a fair bit of space at the top. What's that, Chad? Walking mech following around. It appears the mech's head was looking towards you. Yeah, the mech following me controls for Metal Gear Rex. Basically, he has got inside him. Right, let's just bring up all the AI units. He's got a whole bunch of different AI blocks doing different things. To follow me, he uses these 2 blocks, which is AI flight block set to 0 angles and aligned to planetary gravity, and all the collision and precision stuff turned off. And then he's got a task block set to follow player at 30 meters. And that's the bit that makes the whole mech follow me, because those AI blocks can trigger the same thrusters that I use to make the walk controls move, so that can do all the following. And for the head, there is a custom turret controller that gets set to target friends and has all the weapons switched off so it doesn't shoot you. When the companion mode is, or the guard mode is active, so it's got a turret controller following the player and some AI control blocks following the player as well. Turn that on from there. So there you go, his head is directly following me, and his AI blocks are trying to use the thrusters that trigger the warp cycle to follow me as well. And when he gets close enough, it sort of stops using the thrusters, and then you can turn it all off again. Right, so back to this guy. Now, let's have a look at that. Yes, exactly. AI blocks for following players and turret controllers for making individual parts of the mech follow players. Because you can do the same thing with, like, cameras and turrets and all sorts. You can have them, like, follow specific targets while the AI blocks are making it follow a patrol route or track something in particular. The only problems you can have sometimes, though, is the two will target completely different things. So your AI is moving towards one target and your head control turret is looking at another thing, but when they're both pointing in the same direction, they usually end up targeting the same thing again. Right, so you know what, I'm just going to do it like that. I can spend forever and a day trying to figure out the right proportions with block limitations. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Right, so pod at the top that's going to have most of the AI movement control in it. So what is it? It starts about halfway up these things, and about halfway up that way. We'll look at it. Yeah, something like that. So then that's going to come across there. That's not going to go there. That is going to overhang the back slightly by a block, and then go up by one block from the look of it, or at least one block. We're going to call it one block. And the... let's have a look at that picture. Now, it's hard to tell with that angle. Call it that for now. That could be that. That can come straight across there. Right, okay, that looks pretty good. Then that comes back, let's call it 5 blocks for now, so that's then slightly overhang in the back of that, and then it switches back to the white for what we can call 3 blocks. Yeah, okay. That looks about right so far with what we're working with. Now again, with this one, I'm probably going to turn that radome dish, or whatever it's supposed to be called, into a missile launcher again, because you can fit a nice little cluster of reloadable rocket launchers in there. And I've been working on another mod to allow all ammunition types to pass through small conveyor tubes, because it annoys me quite dearly that missiles don't fit through small tubes, but assault cannon rounds do. So I'm testing out a mod that rectifies that. So we should be able to get a rocket launcher in here as well without having to make the world's biggest conveyor network. Right, so more of this pod. How big is it going to be? It looks like one, two. You know what? We'll call it 3 for now. Because we need to build big circular bits at the front of this, which are going to be the mounting points for our 2 main turrets. Now they come out, look like they come out to about there on the thing. So if we need a 3 block gap in the middle for the connector. Right. Let's paint it a dark colour for now so I can see it properly against the dark grey. So we're going to have that, and we're going to have a 3x3. Perfect. We have a 3x3 gap in the middle that is going to be either a rotor or a conveyor connection. So let's make a circle around that. And if we do that, that, and that. There we go, that looks pretty circular, that'll do me. Yeah, that'll do. That looks about the right kind of scale, I think. So yeah, that could be that. And then we can punch a hole in the middle back out and have our conveyor connection on there. Or maybe even set that block back. No, there's a horrible gap there. Oh, I know what I can do about that. Let's take that and stick that in. Alright, that's better. Right, so... yeah, actually, I will probably take that. I call it. I will probably stick that in there, like so, because we're going to need that space in there. And to be honest, ooh, where's the blocks gone? That actually probably needs to come out of there, to be honest, but because that goes, that can be the outside layer, and then it switches to white. You have 3 of them, and then it switches back to black or dark grey. Yeah, and it's going to be like that all the way around. That's the wrong shape. And it's probably not going to curl that far back, because that's going to be the top of it, about there. Cool, then we can fill that in, fill that in, that, oop, there we go, that. What hideous shape have we got here? We do about that. We can go with that. Now, that looks less hideous. It's fine. And some more of them. A few more of them. More of them, and then, yeah, that level is pretty much going to be the top of the pod, from what I can tell. So that'll be something like that. That'll come across that. And that will be something like that. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Oh, hello, Amelia. How am I? I am sound. I'm good. I am attempting to build another Metal Gear unit for my own amusement. How are you? Right, so we'll finish the pod off and then we can figure out where we're going to put it. Pardon me 1 second. Right, so because I don't intend to control this myself, I don't need to build any kind of reaction wheel for the left and right manual controls. It's purely going to rely on AI stuff. So all we really need... Oh, actually, damn, no, I do need to build a reaction wheel. So I need something to counteract the overzealous AI blocks. Because inside... Yeah, I'll do it this way. Inside the metal gear, in his rear pod, at the back, there is a reaction wheel that is made up of gyroscopes and a rotor with shear inertia tensor on. Let me aim at it. There we go, shear inertia tensor and a really high torque value. And what that does is, you can't really tell when the lights are off, but turning that reaction wheel like that makes the entire mech shift left and right while he's moving. And that's what gives him his vanilla left and right turning controls. But, doubly so, it acts as a counterbalance for the mech AI control, because the gyroscopes that the AI blocks will take control of will get a little bit wobbly, and that reaction wheel acts as a bit of a counterweight to them. What's that, Amelia? Am I interested in adding custom designs? To be honest, I do a lot of my own artwork, but if I ever need any, I will keep you in mind. I've had a few people message me with similar offers, but I tend to do most of it myself. I tend to be quite a self-sufficient kind of person. Right, so we do actually need some kind of reaction wheel in here somewhere. What is the space at the back of this thing looking like? We can probably squeeze one in the middle. And what do we need to do with this? Right, this isn't what it needs to be at all. It needs to come up. It needs to come up about here, to be honest. Something like that. It's got a little flat bit at the back underneath, from what I can see. But it also has a little bit of a slope backwards. We do that and that. Then that across there and that across there. That across there. And dum. Don't actually need that there. We can do that. I might actually put that back and do a little bit of greeble. That reaches quite nicely like that. Have that kind of shape across there, and then let's cut this back so you can see inside a little bit better. And that will be the bottom of it. Leave that open for now. Leave that bit open as well. And let's change the position of this. Now that we've got that sorted out, I can cut that out the middle. There we go, we've got a little bit of a home for some stuff to go in here. But let's fill, not that one, and that one in. Okay, that's a decent little space. We don't specifically need that there, because we might be able to utilise the space a bit better. We run a conveyor tube across the top. So, what space have we got? 5 blocks. Fantastic, that is exactly what we need for a reaction wheel. Or the bare minimum we need for a reacting wheel. Fill in some of that. Oh, in fact, actually, turn my light on. And use triangles on the inside. And a bit more space. Right, cool. So, preferably, we want to have a rotor in the middle here. Now this one doesn't actually need to spin because this mech isn't going to be manually controlled. It just needs enough room for the stuff that I'm going to stick on it not to clang against anything else. Oh, hey Spaghetti Engineer. How are you doing, dude? You know what? Because I'm a weirdo that can't help greebling the inside of stuff that no one ever sees, I'm gonna colour it like that. Right. You know what? This thing is meant to be futuristic looking compared to the Metal Gear Rex, so I'm going to make all of his internal bits and pieces shiny and silver. So, right, so let's get rid of that. How much space have we got up there? Not a great deal. You know what? We might actually need to build it straight on the bottom. I don't think I'm going to have enough vertical headroom. And it doesn't need to move really, it just needs to be clear of this bit here, so that'll be fine. Right, reaction wheel time. So, this thing doesn't need to move at all. So we can just zero. Do zero everything. In fact, I'll stick that back on a second, make sure it's in the middle. Yeah, it's not moving. Fantastic. Right, that can get zeroed. And then we can stick share inertia tensor on. And we can drop that in a bit lower, so we've got a little bit more room. And then it is upon which we build our balance control. Let's go with some beam blocks for the center of it. Because we can have 1, 2. Where's the end block gone again? There it is. 3. Now, that's... yeah, that's going to be too tight. Yeah, it can just be 2 then. Right, we'll try 2. And if necessary, we can build additional stabilizers in other places. Right, so, next step, gyroscopes. Where are they? There they are. Now, the next thing is to stick a bunch of gyros on here. You know what, I'm going to be trapped in here now. It'll probably be easier if I do this in spectator mode. It'll be easier to navigate. So we can have a bunch of them like that. Have a bunch of them like that. Another one and another one. And then we can put that on top of there. Not that way. That way. That way. And a couple of that one, like so. Then we've got plenty of clearance all around. We're not going to clang against the conveyor line. I'm going to run out of there, up to the back. And then we can stick a whole bunch more gyroscopes up there first. I'm going to sort these ones out. So that will be balance gyro. It'll have override controls on. We'll just do the same thing to all the rest of them. And copy that. Wrong one. 0, 3, and that can be center 0, 2. We'll leave that at that for now. There's space for more gyros there later. Right, so that can do that. Then there's some... where else has he got guns? He's got a little turret gun thing here. And he's got a bunch of guns in the head that reach up there. So, we'll add a little line. Then they are going to head up that way at some point to feed into them. Figure that out later. That, and that's going to feed down to a gun down there. Might want to use this space for something, so let's take that out. Shove that in there. Hey, Kitsueb. Yeah, man, exactly. And Kitsueb, thank you very, very much for that super chat earlier. It's very much appreciated. You're the first one, so you should feel proud or something. Right, so let's stick That there, that there, that there, and that can be the beginning of something that'll feed that little turret gun he has tucked between his legs. The head I'm not too worried about for now. I want to try and get it walking first, but yeah, we'll build it off one of those. So we'll do that later. Let's put a few more bits in place while we're here. Each of these is going to have a rotor at the side, and then it's going to have something like that. That. Yeah, we can build the turrets and stuff off of that. What have I done? There we go. Right, so walk controls, we need to get these legs moving. Now, I might... You know what, yeah, we'll try and keep all of the computer stuff in the back. That's going to be the bottom of his pod. That's going to be the top of his pod. So we've got 1, 2, 3 blocks of space vertically and loads in either direction. Cool. Right, so we're going to use my small ammunition mod, so we don't need to worry about feeding the missiles. Small railgun shots are bum 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 bum. Yeah. No. God, if my internet crapped out again. Don't do it. Don't do it. What are you doing? There we go. Thank you. Right. So we need to do something like that. Why am I getting warning signs on OBS? Don't be giving me any grief, thank you very much. Yeah, it seems to be fine again. Whatever. Right, we'll just do something basic like that for now. Once we've got a rough idea of the pieces in places, then you can start fiddling with finer details. Let's stick let's take mirror mode off and see what I'm doing. That. And that. Right, that's connected. Cool. Right, that's the basics of its ammunition system. We do need to figure out a bit of storage, but we'll work that out later. In fact, I could probably even squeeze some storage containers into that little cubby hole either side. I might use that for ammunition storage. Cool. In that case, let's think about walk controls. 3 blocks is plenty to work with. So, let's get this thing up and running. Let's have that silver colour again. So, with the last couple of updates to this game, I've been able to refine the way that I do walk controls quite considerably. I don't need to use quite as many lights and event controllers as my system I was using about a year ago. Still need to use the odd light here and there to trigger and react to stuff, but it's a little bit more refined now. So basics we need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Oh, actually, no, we don't even need that, because I'm not going to build this with reverse walking. Actually, no, I will, and I'll have that set up a different way. Yeah, okay, so we will do it this way. So basically, we'll have an event controller for looking, making the left leg move forwards, one for making it move backwards. Same on this side, and then there is going to be one controller that will control the return functions as the leg contracts when it's walking, which is pretty much how Rex works. Walk controllers. So he's got for each leg basically a forward controller that makes it move back and forth and makes the leg contract, and then a return controller that makes it extend again when it gets to the furthest point of its step animation. And that's what makes the legs fold back and forth and the pistons move back and forth. Why aren't you tipping far forward enough? I'm having weight issues today. A bit too heavy at the back. Not sure why. But that's the basics of that. So we need to... Oh yeah, that's what I can do. I can sort these out the way I was going to originally. And I can incorporate the lights that are going to trigger these legs into this bit. In fact, I'm going to make it that colour. Then we can pop an inset light in that gap. There it is. I'll have one of them like that. I'll have one of them like that. And then we will sort this bit out. Right, so these lights are ultimately what is actually going to trigger the walk animations. As we walk light on the left hand side. And then I usually just make them cyan. And then turn all the settings down, so that can be that. That can go there. That is going to be R01. And I'll turn that one off. So basically when those lights turn on, it will make the whole leg move forward, and then when it turns off, it'll make the whole leg move back again. And And we also, it's very important to actually name all of these things properly. Those are named. That one's fine. That one is not. So this is going to be Metal Gear Zeke. Leg hinge L0. I'll call it 2. So it makes it easier remembering it in the sequence. So that's 1, that's 2. Metal Gear Zeke. Leg hinge L03. Should have done this before I copied and pasted it over to the other side. Metal Gear Zeke. Leg hinge L04. Right, cool. Let's just copy that. Get rid of that. Copy, paste, reverse. And rename. Copy all. Copy, paste. That's all fine because that's all the same anyway. That can be that. That can be the right hand side. And that one is already named and set up. Fantastic. Right, we need a temporary control seat so that I can actually program this thing. And we do also need to consider where we're going to put our power supply for it too. It's going to need reactors and batteries. Right, so leg stuff. So most of all the programming just involves making all these rotors move back and forth at the same time. So if I select rotor and hinge, that is essentially what the first controller is going to do, is make the ankle and the hip move in sequence with each other, and then contract the knee sections. So what? Oh, haven't named any of these. So that is going to be controller walk forward L01. Copy all. That is going to be reverse. That is going to be R01. That's going to be R01 reverse, and then button, stupid mouse. And then these two in the middle are going to be return controls. They are going to reset the leg at the appropriate point to bring the foot back down again. So they will do that. And then Oh, sorry, Spaghetti. I didn't see your messages. I've been in my own little world. I'm building Metal Gear Zeke, like Kit2Eb said. And like Chad said, what's that? Building a mech on Metal Gear. Yeah. I've got reference pictures here of Metal Gear Zeke. In various forms. To be honest, if you ever want to build replica stuff, look for model kits and really expensive high-end like statue sets and things like that, because those websites often have lots and lots of pictures of the very expensive thing they're trying to sell you, so you can see it from all angles, and they tend to be great reference points for making replicas of stuff, because you often get to see them from every angle and with certain bits of them removed and stuff like that. So then those are going to do that, and then we're going to have a few more event controllers. These are going to be for the walk cycle, because I have a relatively new-ish way of doing walk cycles now. So I don't need to use the precise timers script anymore. And that generally consists of a couple of event controllers, and the timer, which will be our actual walk cycle, big capital letters so we can spot it properly. And that'll be our walk cycle timer, and triggering that timer is what's going to make the legs move. And then we've still got 2 blocks of space. So then on top of that, I stick a regular old standard 1x1 rotor. And then that rotor spinning is what is going to trigger these 2 event controllers, and when those event controllers get triggered, they are going to trigger that timer, and then that timer being triggered is going to make the legs move in sequence, and all sort of feeds into itself, one bit into the next. So walk cycle rotor needs to be unlimited so it can spin freely, but it does need to have a little bit of braking torque, because we're going to turn it on and off. And it's going to be this rotor spinning that is going to trigger the walk cycle, and turning on and off is going to be part of the controls for it. So that's those bits set up. So walk cycle forward. This is where it all gets a little bit technical. Right, so first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to set up these walk controls. So these first ones are going to be block switched on and off. And they are going to react to the walk lights turning on and off. And when they turn off, they are going to make the leg rotors move back and forth. I just need to check what direction does what. Forward pushes that, positive pushes that forward, negative brings it back. Right. So, we'll go to that, go to leg rotor, make sure we're on page 1, and then we'll set velocity to something for now. In fact, what was it on Rex? Won't be exactly the same, but it'll be something similar. Sure, I set it up. No, I didn't. And red rotor. Let's have a look and see what velocities you are doing when you walk. 7. Right, we'll call it 7 RPM then. Yeah, the gyros seem to be taking a while to wind up today. Must be because I'm streaming. Send that signal, turn him off. Right, so 7 RPM, we'll use that as a guideline for now. Select actions. Right, so leg rotor, we will set it to 7 RPM when it goes forwards, and we'll set it to -7 when it goes back. On the other side, because it's the opposite way around and it's a rotor, we'll do it the opposite way around. So, set velocity -7 in the first slot, and set velocity 7 in that slot. So now, when I turn this walk light on and off, it makes that hip joint move. And then we can find our ankle hinge, which is the last one in the chain. And that also wants to be positive when it is in its forward position. Cool. Right, that makes things easier. So, next page along. Leg hinge 0, 4. And we'll set that to match the same velocity, so because it should be something fairly similar. If you set your legs up properly, they should have pretty similar distance that the hips and the feet need to travel between the two positions. So 7 should be alright, hopefully, and -7 for that. And then, because it's a hinge and it's the same way around, we don't need to reverse anything. So it'll still be 7 and that one, and -7. So now if we hit that light, the foot and the hip move in conjunction with each other. Cool. Right, then the next step is doing the 2 middle sections of the leg. We need that to lift up a bit. We don't really need it to lift super far. That back one's gone a little bit far than it needs to. What's that? What are we on? -20. And all the way up to 45. That might be a bit excessive. Because that's 65-degree difference. Number 3 is only a 45-degree difference, and that's why. So we might make that go to 25 instead. And make that go to 25 instead. So so that when they both reverse, the foot still stays flat. Yeah, cool. Right, so positive contracts it, negative extends it. Positive contracts, negative extends. Right, cool. That works pretty well. So then, the next two things. Pardon me. The next two things that we need to do is the leg hinges in the middle, which is 2 and 3. So when it goes forward, for now we'll make it we'll try it at the same speed as the rest of the hinges. So that when it goes forward, it wants to be -7. And when it comes back, it wants to be... Oh wait, no. No. I think it's the other way around, isn't it? We want it to contract as it moves forward. And then we want it to extend as it moves backwards. And do that for the other one as well, so that'll be forward, and then that will be backwards. So let's throw those warp light buttons onto the toolbar. So there we go. As it moves forward, it contracts the leg, and then when it gets to the end of that step, it's going to drop back down again eventually. And as a failsafe, when it moves back, it extends back out again. But I think it might need to be a little bit quicker. Yeah, we'll make it a little bit quicker. So, we'll go back to the drawing board. Get rid of them. Leg hinge. We'll call it... It's set to 7. Call it 10. Why not? Yeah, we'll call it 10. And... -10. 10 and -10. That's both of them. Oh, that's much better. That's much more clean. Okay. Then next step is the return controller. You can set these up in a variety of different ways depending on how you want to do it. Or rather, you can have it react to a variety of different parts of a leg. For this one, we'll go with the hip, because that's what we were using for Rex. So we'll try and keep it similar. So, leg, rotor, L01. That's at 81 degrees. Leg, rotor, reverse, -45. So when it's greater than, well, at least -45, it will react. So walk return greater than -40 now. And when that rotor gets to minus 40 degrees, it will extend those two hinges in the leg back out again, which was negative, I think. Yeah, so all that needs to do is set velocity to minus 10 that one, and set velocity to minus 10 for that one. And then we do that. It is not reacting properly. Why not? I've got something the wrong way around. Leg. Two. Into number 3. Leg rotor. I always do that with reverse numbers. Meant to be minus 50 for. So we'll go back. There we go. Now we have the basics of a step animation that is controlled with just that one light turning on and off. And then we can refine and tweak angles and velocities and things like that to make it a bit more fluid. But that's the basics of that. So then we can set up the other leg to do the same thing. So, what did we get done with that, if anything? We did... Oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, so we did that bit. That's cool. Right. So, we need to do the second set of leg hinges. So, what was that? It was 10 and minus 10 and 10 and minus 10. I think that's the way it was. Yeah, that was the way. Fantastic. And then walk return for the right hand side is going to be the opposite way round to the left hand side. Leg rotor R01, add block. So this one is going to be less than 50, I think. And then that will leg hinge R0, that will extend the leg back out. So we need to select minus, no, not positive, wrong thing, minus 10 and minus 10. Right, so then that, there you go, that responds. I think I need to tweak some of the torque settings, but then we can trigger both lights together to create a walk animation. And we can work out how to make it stand in the center later on, but that's not massively important for AI controlled mechs. It all gets a bit confusing. So yeah, that is the beginnings of the walk stuff. So then the walk cycle timer. Sorry, forgive all the coughing, I'm getting over a very irritating cold. Had a horrible chest infection for a couple of weeks. So the walk cycle will literally just turn on and off those two lights. So in the walk cycle, when you trigger it, we'll do that. Make the legs do stuff. And then we're going to automate it with these two controllers here, which are both going to be looking at angles. One of them will be set to 10 degrees and the other will be set to 190 because event controllers have a little bit of a hard time triggering values in between -10 and +10 at high speeds. I don't know why, but it's the same thing with sensors as well. I don't think they can pick it up very well at that speed. So I always set them to, I always offset them by 10 degrees, so it's in double figures, and then it doesn't seem to have a problem then. So we've got 10 degrees and 190 degrees, and as that rotor spins around, where is it? Cycle rotor, can go in there, and it can also go in there. And as that goes around and spins round like a record, I'm typing the word spin because I'm an idiot, it will trigger that timer. Then we have that trigger, and then when we turn on that rotor, now it's spinning, we'll make it spin a little bit quicker. There we go. That's too quick. Over 20 RPM. That might be a tad too quick to begin with. Might bring it down to 18 RPM. Yeah, there we go. That is now walking and ticking over in a little cycle. And you can see my toolbar, those two lights turning on and off. And it's the lights turning on and off that makes the legs and all the bits move. Then if we turn that rotor off, it all stops. So I'm going to be brave. I'm going to give this little test again with no gyros, just to see how well it responds. And then we can slap some override gyros on it. Oh, hang on, no, we did build some gyros, didn't we? We did, we built the basic reaction wheel, so we'll see how well that works. I'm getting it, even though we've got nothing to actually directly control it with. Just want to see how well this works. Oh. That's why we need to figure out where we're putting our power source. You can just have that battery for now. Oh, there it goes. Right, he's a bit rear heavy, obviously. Got this big pod on his back. But he didn't go over immediately. So let's put in some more of the gyroscopes. And where were they? Bunch of them there. Bunch of them there. One of them there, and it's going to be a hard, tight squeeze to get to the other one. Where is it? There it is. Fantastic. Wait. Oop. Really? There we go. Right, so that's going to be number 3. That's 1, 2, 3 over there, so that's going to be number 4. Number 4. Can we get into there? Yes, we can. That could be 5. That can be 6. All that. 5 and 6. Ah, I'm stuck because I pressed the wrong button. There we go. And then that one's going to be C04. That's convenient. What's that, Jeremy? 2 split shifts at work? Oh, I don't like split shifts. I used to do those a long time ago. And don't worry if you doze off, mate. It'll be going on the streams page on my YouTube channel anyway, so you can watch it back as often as you like. Right, so, that's that bit. That's that. Let's try. Let's try giving it some AI controls. Get it to walk and follow us. Because I don't need to worry too much about making it controllable for me. I need to worry about making it controllable for the AI. So, let's pop a bunch of gyroscopes down here for now as just a reference point. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll do a bunch of them like that for now. And then dum 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 dum. I don't want it protected, but I also need the AI to actually pivot from a reasonable place. You know what? Let's just stick it there anyway. So AI blocks. Basic things you need to make a drone or something move is a flight block. Oh, no worries, Jeremy. So flight block, which really bugged me because the colours on the sides don't make any sense. Red is right, blue is left. Those are the stage marking colours. Why would green ever be right? Red is right. Anyway. Flight block and a task block of some description. So we will have one for a companion or guard mode and one for a patrol mode where it can walk around freely. And offensive and defensive blocks and all that kind of stuff can come later. Then we've got that. Oh yes, we also need to set up some more event controllers to actually make the walk cycles controllable. Dum dum dum. We only need a front, forwards and a backwards. So we'll do forwards on there, backwards one there. That can be controller, walk, forward, control. That will be. They're not copy that. Copy all. Copy. Paste. Thank you. And that'll be the reverse controls, but we will set them up later on. Because the reverse controls for this thing are only going to be a get out of jail card if it gets too close to something and gets trapped and can't turn around. I'm going to focus on the forward controls for now. So, in order to actually control it and make it walk forwards, what I usually use is some ion thrusters. Because in atmosphere they do still just about work, but they don't produce enough thrust to actually really affect the grid in any meaningful way. Now we need 2. We can have 1. Let's spell properly. That is going to be the walk thruster forward control. And the other one is going to be the walk forward thruster override. That is going to have a little bit of override on it because you can turn off the inertial dampeners on a control seat. But as soon as you turn on AI blocks, controls, and let it loose, it will turn those inertial dampeners back on again. And that inertial dampening will screw with these walk controls. So that walk thrusters and now walk oh, are they thrusters? Ugh, I will have a look. I type too fast sometimes. Almost certainly misspelt it. Let's have a look. TH. Yes, they are thrusters. Well spotted. Thank you. There we go. Walk thrusters. Right, so now, where are they? Walk control forwards. These are going to respond to thruster output. It doesn't need to be very much at all most of the time. It'll be responding to that walk control thruster, which is currently at 0. And when that thruster fires, it will turn this rotor on and off. So if I hit forwards on that thruster, you can see it reacting a little bit. You can just about make out that rotor turning as I press it. And if I hold my finger down on the button, it will walk forwards. Or it'll play the forward animation. Oh, hello, Matt Pando. Good to see you. But yeah, that is pretty much the step-by-step kind of way of setting up a vanilla walk cycle. And then you can do the same thing with the controls the opposite way round and build a reverse thruster setup. And then you can have your reverse controls, which I am going to do eventually, but I want to get this thing walking and following forwards first of all. Let's just have a look at that. Yeah, I might actually end up extending the back of this pod a little bit, maybe, but then again, the dimensions are all a bit different to the reference pictures I've got. Right, so, I'm going to quickly go and have another break for a minute. Oh, what am I doing? Sort that out over here. That's why I set that up. There we go. Patrol mode activated. There it goes. Right, I'm going to quickly go and have another break. I'm going to grab another cup of tea, because I can't live without it. I will let him wander around and do his thing. And I will hopefully leave the camera positioned in such a way that you can be entertained by him and whatever he gets up to for the next 5 minutes. He might end up booting that little thing out of the way in a second, you never know. But I will be back in a couple of minutes, don't go anywhere. Probably going to do at least another hour or so of this stream. So, I will see you in a few minutes. Hello. Oop. Pressed the wrong button. There we go. Right. Press the right buttons that time. Right, I am back, and he has just been missing his waypoints because he's a bit big, and I haven't worked out the finer details of his balance system yet. We can turn that off. And then we can activate his guard mode, and he'll come back over here like a faithful little puppy. Right, so we've got some walk controls set up for this one. The basic walk animation. We've got some gyroscopes down there that are going to control some stuff, and some AI blocks there that are going to control some stuff. So, AI blocks. We turn that on, that off. There we go, it's kind of responding to stuff now, it's trying to follow me. Turn that to 0. Oh, what's everyone saying? Hey, Great Null, how you doing, man? No worries, dude. There's a whole bunch of messages. If we could do a gecko just by making the entire leg out of hinges. Probably. Oh, here he comes. Biggest issue with legs and hinges and stuff is the more joints you add, the more wonky the legs get. So you've just got to bear that in mind when you're designing legs. But yeah, you can make legs entirely out of hinges and stuff. If you're trying to make something really compact and small. So there you go, you can see that AI is attempting to follow me now and triggering the walk cycle. Just need to make a few more little adjustments. So we'll call that AI unit movement. That's on, that's set to 10, that's fine. 0, 0, 0, and planetary gravity aligned. Let's turn that off. That gets to be AI unit guard. That gets to be AI unit patrol, because I usually like to set up one that can follow players and one that can follow waypoints. So that can be on, that can be on, that can follow me at a distance of 30 meters. That can be on, and on, just to be sure. There we go. It is triggering, but as you notice, it's a bit janky about when it triggers sometimes, depending on what angle I'm on. Because the AI blocks think they need to have thrust in every direction in order to work properly, and I say think because I mean they don't actually need to have thrust in every direction. They just need to think they do. So you can trick the AI blocks into thinking they can move sideways, upwards, downwards, whatever, by using unconnected hydrogen thrusters, because the AI blocks don't actually check for fuel. They only check for a thruster that is switched on and attached to the same grid as the AI blocks. So what you can usually do is just sneak in some blocks anywhere. And it usually makes it a little bit easier for the AI to do what it wants to do. That's off, that's off, that's off. That's on, that's on, that's on. Right, let's see how well this is going to behave. Probably not got enough gyroscope control. But we can give it a try. And I need to put the battery back in it again, because I keep forgetting about the battery. Let's stick a couple of them in there. Oh, it can turn. It can stay upright. And it's following me. So that's a good sign. And then we can tweak its walk animation to make it a little less janky. But there you go. It's following me with the walk cycle. Right. Yeah, so there we go. That's walking alright. He's balancing alright. You can turn and you can follow me. No, get rid of that. No, that's working pretty well. And we can turn the AI blocks back off again, so they don't mess with us. So we might need to add a few more gyroscopes in there, but you can stay upright and balanced pretty well. So let's have a look at building the head and getting a bit more detail on this thing. Right, okay. Have I got a better picture of its neck in my little folder of reference pictures? Where is it? Ah, there we go. What's that one look like? Yeah, okay. Right, okay. I think I'm gonna do something slightly different to Rex. He's got quite a few subgrids in his neck and quite a lot of weight on the end, and it's a little bit janky, so I'm going to reduce the amount of subgrids a little bit. And we'll just have a rotor for the base of the neck. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Right, so let's throw some mirror mode on there. Wrong thing. Right, what's this picture I've got looking like? Difficult to see. Ah, there we go. That's a better one. Right, okay, so it's going to kind of come up straightish at the back. Then it's going to oh, it's just for stability, Chad. There's a bit of an annoying bug that I've encountered multiple times trying to do separate neck and head subgrids. Because there's a subgrid there, a subgrid there, a subgrid here, and another one here connected to the main body. Every time I've ever tried this configuration, this hinge right here has problems getting stuck at its limits. And the only way it ever seems to be able to get free of that is in motion, and when it gets wiggled free. It's really annoying, and I don't know why it happens. It's probably just because you're taking the piss a bit with the amount of subgrids involved, but for this one I'm going to try and do it slightly differently. Just because I feel like doing it slightly differently. So this part is going to... it needs to slope up. Now, does that look... yeah, it looks... no, actually we might try a regular one first. Yeah, because that can come up like that. Another block. Something like that, and then that can 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's call it 5 for now. Yeah, something like that. That comes across there like that. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't quite seem enough. 4, 5. I'm gonna build it there. Put that across there. That always come out of block anyway. No, don't do that. What we need to do is build it out another block. Like so. Because we want to get a rotor or hinge or something in there. So I want articulation in there, the neck. Oh, for the head rather. But yeah, something like that. Right, so if we then get one of those, stick it that way, we could have that needs to come out of there one way or the other. we're going to go through there. Let's do it that way, so it's a little bit more protected. If we go down immediately one block, we will be there. So let's do it there. Cool. Do something like that. Oh, crap out on me again, internet. Come on. Thank you. And then we can just follow that down, can't we? Back a bit. Do that, and then that, and then that. There we go. That's connected. And that can be the basis of our head. Yeah, because we could have a rotor there. We can have a hinge. Directly on top of it. And then we can build the head off that. Yeah, my internet is being a bit temperamental. I'm not entirely sure why. It seems to have settled down again on OBS, apparently. Everything's back in the green again. Hope everyone can see properly. Right, so that'll be that. See, that looks a little bit tall. Then again, I can build the head down a little bit and incorporate that in, perhaps. Or I can scrap that entire thing. Put that out a bit. Set that. Oh, hey Nerio, welcome to the party. Quite a few of the channel members have turned up. Good to see you guys. So that can be that. That can be that, and then we would have to take that out and swap it to that way around, and then we can cover that up with something. Might even just make that a block lower. Let's put that out, place that. Yeah, that's not too bad. Might just do that. That way, that's nice and protected down there. That's inset a little bit. We can then chuck a rotor in there so it's a little bit lower down. And a hinge on top of that. So we can kind of tuck the hinge into the shape of the head a little bit and tuck it away. So then that would require another one of them. Right. I need to get a good close-up shot of its face to figure out what I'm doing here. Zeke's head is quite a different shape from Rex's. He doesn't have a jaw, he doesn't have a control seat in the mouth, and he's got a big weird blob sensor on the front of his head, which I might actually use to keep some of the AI controls in. I might put the defensive block in there. Right, so the head is almost entirely this light grey, white kind of colour. Except for a little bit around the base of the neck. Or the top of the neck, rather. So, if we go with the idea that the top of the head is about there, we only really need enough room to squeeze in. The conveyor connection actually might need to be a bit taller. Also do with setting up mirror mode. Yeah, something like that. In fact, yeah, we will go taller than that. We also need to come out the back a little bit. Bum 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 bum. Oh, actually, that picture's at a weird angle. I am looking at one of the guns that's mounted on its face, not part of the neck. Okay,